What's happening, guys and girls? Happy Monday. I hope that you started off your day in momentum. You did some productive shit today because it's fucking Monday. All right. And just so you know, I'm not fucking sorry about earlier's post. Earlier I posted. Um, I guess it was a troll because a lot of you guys and girls thought I was actually going to talk about weed and how weed helps you grow muscle. But I yeeted you guys super hard because I wanted you guys to actually read it because, like, honestly, there's some juicy information in there. All right. And I want you guys to know what's going on. And, if I can get your attention, I'll do it. All right. You said I have small I'll do shit like that. You know what it is. All right. So when you join, let me know how your day going. So yo, Odin, what's up? I appreciate you. Thanks for joining. First one in the house on Instagram. Let me know how your day's going. Aaron Deep, what's up? I'm just gonna paste and pin the title here so we know what we're talking about on Instagram. Okay. And as for TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, we're already on the air. We're already chilling and shit. So we're going to get going. All right. And I'm actually going to talk to you guys and girls about the best way to grow muscle and burn fat. Also the way that I sort of did it and that I continue to do it, as a bodybuilder. Okay. Like, who doesn't want to hear that? Because you guys always ask me questions. Matter of fact, I was asked in the change room today at the gym, what the best version or the best, well, they said diet, but the best way to grow muscle and burn fat was. Assuming that you had to separate the two. And we're going to talk about that, the separation of the two, and why it's actually not necessary to separate them both, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to wait for you guys and girls to join. Arch, thanks for joining. Okay, and when the house starts to fill up, I'm going to be talking about those tips and tricks, okay, and the things that I did, and I'm still doing them, the things I'm currently doing to help me burn fat and grow muscle simultaneously, like at the same damn time, which means I don't bulk and I don't cut per se. All right. So I'm going to show you guys and girls the method that I usually do. That works for me and it works for my clients. Right. Again, this is steering away from the traditional mindset, the traditional, we'll say, application of nutritional knowledge of get into a big caloric surplus. Okay. Stay in a big caloric surplus for X amount of months. And then, going to something else where you cut, the complete opposite, where you go into an extreme caloric deficit for a couple of months, right? Gurpreet, thanks for joining, right? So I just want to share with you guys how, again, I'm not trying to knock you guys and call you guys stupid for doing it, but I'm telling you guys and girls, it's not necessary to build muscle. If you want to build muscle, get bigger, get stronger, it's not necessary. Okay, to eat a shit ton of food, get in a heavy caloric surplus, only to get into an aggressive cut deficit the months to come because you got to burn off all the fat and water that you put on your system. Brady, what's good? 10K mama in the house. I appreciate you, babe. You know what it is, gang. Tristan, thanks for joining. Yo, what's up, bro? I appreciate you. Joseph, Jordan. Yeah, TikTok, we rolling. I appreciate you guys and girls. All right, so let's jump right on into it. Go. Guys and girls, what the fuck did I say? Say go. Anyway, so yo, check it out. I used to be the person where, honestly, my mindset was okay, yo, if I want to grow muscle, if I want to actually get bigger, I gotta eat bigger. I mean, it seems like common sense. You know what I'm saying? Eat big, get big, common sense, right? And I'm not knocking you if you think that way, guys and girls. But at the same time, I remember, doing that. I would often feel extremely bloated because of the water that I have to drink. I remember doing that. I honestly would stuff my face full of food. I was in a between 800, 900 to 1,000 calorie surplus over my maintenance. And that was just the starting level. The worst of it, I got maybe almost 2,000 over my maintenance level for calories, which is absolutely fucking unnecessary because you grow too fast and you really fuck up your insulin sensitivity, which is your body's ability to, we'll say, work with carbs, just to keep it simple for you guys and girls, as well as your digestive system. Okay, I used to eat up to 5,200 calories. Okay, between that 5,000, 5,200 calories at the peak of my bulk, when I would really start to push growing for muscle. This was maybe 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, and it wasn't sustainable. It never worked out for me because I'm a bodybuilder, for those of you guys and girls that don't know. And every single time that I had to come around to cut, it was fucking hell. And I mean, it's already supposed to be hell, but dieting and eating in a way like that, it makes it just beyond torturous. It's just painful. It's already going to be painful as a bodybuilder, but that was unnecessary pain. Okay. And the reason why, guys and girls, it was unnecessary in my eyes is because like when I look at it now, like I made more gains and held on to more gains. Again, keyword held on to more gains when I grew muscle, keeping my calories at a maintenance level or slightly under the maintenance level. Okay. So for me, maintenance would be anywhere between like 3,200 to say 3,400, 3,200. Like that's just like a fair balance. Just throw it out there, right? And if I want to like focus on getting shredded, getting ready for a show, and just start, getting down and conditioned, my calories would be like say 3,000. I'll drop like 200 at most to start for the first 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, and then after that point, I would not really focus on the amount of calories that I'm intaking. I would focus more on the cardio that I'm doing. I would also focus more on the amount of protein that I was intaking. And if I felt hungrier, I increased the protein that I was intaking. Why, guys and girls? Well, simple. Protein builds muscle. And if protein builds muscle, if I can understand that protein builds muscle, and I can use protein as a variable to increase the satiation in food that I get, like, so if I'm hungry when I'm cutting, I eat more protein and protein builds muscle, and it's hard to store fat while eating protein, then I'm on track to not only retaining muscle as I, cut down, but building muscle as I cut down. And what do you mean by that? Like building as you cut down? I mean building muscle and keeping muscle as I lose fat and water weight. Right? So when I realized that, and I started to like live in that spectrum of dieting, where I would always make sure that I have a really high protein intake. My carbs would fluctuate based off of if I was competing and what muscle group I was training. Typically leg days I have the highest amount of carbs because leg days are fucking hard. Okay, I need that glycogen because I'll burn through a lot of it. Right? So based off of those things, I would again utilize my macronutrients to allow myself to remain losing fat, burning fat, getting lean while putting on muscle by feeding my muscle, which is simply giving myself enough protein, if not a little bit more than the adequate amount. And I found that works so much better for me than getting into eating more than 4,500 calories a day or like 5,000 plus calories a day, right? And the reason being is simply because A, it's a lot more sustainable. Okay. B, I'm not bloated. I don't want to vomit all the time. Like sometimes, it's a lot of protein to eat, but like eating a lot of protein is way better than eating a lot of carbs. I'll say that much. Okay. And on top of that, I don't have to fucking cut. Like I never have to really, like for me to get ready for a show now is, it's still hard, but it's nowhere near as hard where, when I was eating 5,000 calories and I'd have to get used to eating like literally like 1,500 calories. 1,600 calories. Like getting that switch is humongous. Like switching from 5,000, 5,200 down to 12 or 1,500 calories, right? It's like it's really hard on you mentally, physically, and it really fucks up the rhythm of everything. Your metabolism, okay, the way you digest, the way you absorb food, okay, and not only that, you have to lose a lot of muscle whenever you diet that aggressively. Like it's just that's just what happens. It comes fast, it goes fast. Okay, that's what she said, but I'm just joking. No, it comes fast, it goes fast. You put on the muscle really quickly, and then when it's time to cut, and you want to get rid of the fat that you have to accumulate, because again, let's face it, when you're dirty bulking or you're clean bulking and eating a shit ton of calories, clean or not, you got a lot of fat to lose. And when you're losing that fat in that process, you will lose some muscle, and you will lose more muscle than the person that stayed, consistent, in terms of the amount of protein that they were eating, right? And staying in a fair range of carbohydrates while also respecting their maintenance of calories and playing at least just a little bit lower than that. At most, just a little bit, under maintenance, right? So the sustainability for that person, cash money. Like it's going to be a breeze for them to cut because they're already not on that extreme end of eating the whole fucking planet, the whole fridge, like leaving bite marks on the door of the fridge. Like they don't do that. So it's easier for them to get ready for a show and easier for them to push the limits to get extremely conditioned. And if you're a bodybuilder, that's what you want. If you're a regular person, okay, like, fuck, I'm not going to push you to get to the point where you're like extremely ripped, but that's what it is. Like psychologically, it's a lot easier. And I noticed that within the last 2 years of implementing this, not only did I get bigger, not only did I get leaner, but I also got fucking stronger, and it's been easier for me to maintain a leaner state year round. And I'm not stage ready year round. Don't get it twisted, guys and girls. Like, I'm not. I am not, stage ready year round. That's just not true, right? But I do look fucking amazing. Like, I do have veins everywhere, all over my body. I look like Google Maps, and that's because I apply these things. Of course, there are other variables, but guys and girls, being able to build muscle and not cut at the end of the process is like one of the best things if you actually want to keep the muscle that you put on. I'm going to repeat that. Being able to build muscle and not cut at the end of the process is the number one thing that's going to keep that fucking muscle on your frame. I remember I had to go fucking all the way up just to go all the way down. And the amount of weight that I would lose in general, I knew that I would lose a fair amount of muscle. But doing this, I've got a lot stronger, like a lot stronger. What used to challenge me, we used to be PRs before, is like still challenging you now, but it's way easier. And I would have thought, what the fuck? I'm eating less calories. How is this possible? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it possible that it's easier now for me to, lift these weights, to push, this hard, and I'm eating less calories? Well, it's because of the protein, guys and girls. It's fucking important. Protein is everything. Okay, protein for the win, Brady says. It's true. And it's true. Protein for like over everything. Because if I kept my protein between, I think, 220 to 240. Like at most, I'm doing 240 if I'm like starving and I'm dropping my carbs really like under 100. And that's if I'm getting ready for a show. And I'm keeping the muscle, growing the muscle. And again, guys and girls, the more muscle you have on your frame, this is just a reminder for you guys and girls, the more muscle that you have on your frame, okay, the more fat is burned on your body just by you fucking doing nothing. Why is that? Why? Well, because muscle is calorically expensive to have on your body. Like just having more muscle than fat, like if you're talking about ratios here, will put you in a spot that's favorable for burning fat while doing nothing, because your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, will be high, which means, again, BMR just means the amount of calories that you burn while not doing anything. Because to hold muscle on your frame consumes a lot of calories, a lot more than the fat that you'd have to, maintain on your body that stays in your body. Okay, so it is a plus to stay in a slight deficit / maintenance. Believe me when I say that. And a lot of the gym bros are going to say, no, bro, you got to like get big and you got to cut and all this. Cool. That's how you guys look, how you feel, which is most important. How do you feel? Can you do that for the rest of your life? Like, can you actually like fucking eat 5,000-6,000 calories for a couple of months and then go back to eating like 2,000, 1,500 calories to burn that weight for the rest of your life? Like, make it make sense. Like, I'm always learning as I go through, and I spend some, a lot of time like reading and watching some videos to learn and applying them, of course, to myself. And I figured, like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, it makes so much sense to do something that's sustainable, that can last a lifetime, as opposed to, really forcing the growth and forcing, my body to put on a lot of weight, which is, again, a lot of people are fucked up about that, especially gym bros. I mean, yes, people that want to lose weight, that want to burn fat, or they look at the scale and they're like, oh, fuck, like, I wish I lost the weight, and the number really fucks with them in their head. But the same thing with bodybuilders, yo. Look at the scale and like, oh, I'm not big enough. I'm like, dude, look in the fucking mirror. That will tell you how big you need to be. If you get to 220 pounds and you're a fat piece of shit, you don't have abs, you don't have a single line on your body, you don't have like quad lines or anything, you're too fat, you're too big. Stay where you've got some conditioning. That's your number, and you're going to work up from there at a slow pace. Because honestly, most people that do the lean bulking, the clean bulking thing, they eat themselves all the way up to that point, 5,000 calories a day. They get to the point where, yeah, I reached 220 because my bulk says I reached 220. And then that's my bulk. And then I get to chill at 220 and then build muscle from there. Like, do you realize how much fat and water you put on in that short period of time? To actually get to a real 220 would take you fucking years. Like, years. So what the fuck's the point of rushing it? Muscle takes time to grow. You cannot rush the process. Anything that comes quick goes just as quick. All right, so guys and girls, that's it. That's all. That's all I really wanted to talk about to you guys and girls today. I want to let you know that it is fucking possible to burn fat and build muscle at the same goddamn time. Now you know. Okay, now you know. And if you are having trouble with, comprehending with, what I'm saying, shoot me a DM and I'll explain it to you in person in a language you can fucking understand. Because you don't need to be eating 5,000 calories just to go to eat 1,500 calories to cut it. Like, that's not good for your brain. Like, psychologically, they'll fuck you up. I used to do it. I'm telling you. And if you say that you can do it, continue. I know you're fucking lying on your ass. It's not easy. And of course, building muscle isn't easy. And I'm not telling you to pick the easier route. This is actually the harder route if you really look at it, because it takes a lot more time. Okay, it takes a lot more time to grow when you're not in an aggressive surplus or in a surplus at all. If you're at maintenance or slightly under, because if you're slightly under caloric maintenance, you're in a phase where you're burning fat already. But if you're under maintenance in that slight deficit by 50, 70, 100 calories, 200 calories at most, and then you continue that as you make sure your protein is as high as it could be, as much protein as you can intake. For me, it was 220 to 250 grams, 40 grams, 240 grams. You'll be not only retaining the muscle in that deficit, but you'll also be growing muscle. All right. And the more muscle you add on your frame, the more fat burns anyway, because of what I mentioned earlier about your basal metabolic rate. So keep that in mind, guys and girls. Madison, thank you for joining. Bianca, thanks for joining. TT in the house. Just Leds, thanks for joining. Tattoo, Bianca, Scarfman, Timmy, Jakey, Tristan, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hi. What's happening? What's good? All right, guys and girls, I'm going to read what Bianca's got here to say. She's awesome. She's always showing up. And then I'm going to roll out. Okay? I hope you're having a wonderful day too, Bianca. So she says, for those who don't know, which I highly doubt you don't, insulin is the stuff that's secreted by your body to help your bodily systems break down sugar efficiently, i.e. glucose. So yes, what your body does with carbs is dependent on insulin, right? And if you fuck up the way you eat, your metabolism, is thrown off because you're eating a whole lot, and then you start eating a little bit, like a fraction of that. You like to do extreme bulks and extreme cuts. That will throw off your body's insulin receptivity, your insulin sensitivity, and that will fuck up the way that your body is able to utilize carbohydrates. Meaning, you want to convert it into glycogen. Okay, glycogen is the muscle fuel. That's what helps you pump in the gym. It gets you that pump when you have carbs. It's like whenever you hear a bodybuilder say carb up, right? It's they're referring to the effect of intaking glycogen from the carbs. But the flip side is like overspilling. When you take in carbs and you get a lot of water retention and it turns into fat. Okay, because carbs can turn to either glycogen or fat. If you got too much glycogen and your body's like full and capped out, it's going to convert to fat, right? And the ability for your body to do that is dependent on your insulin sensitivity. Okay, so if you eat a lot, you do that extreme bulk and you do that extreme cut several times a year, you fuck up your body's insulin sensitivity, which essentially makes it very difficult for your body to know when it's time to create glycogen and know when it's time to turn that the carbohydrates into fats, right? So don't run yourself that risk and add more fat that you need to do than you need to add. Assuming you even need to add it. Honestly, you don't. As I mentioned, you can be in a slight deficit, keep your protein high, train your fucking ass off, build muscle. So I like that you said that, Bianca, for those people that didn't know. She says, I can't remember which organ secretes it, either the liver or the gallbladder or the pancreas. Can you refresh my memory, please? It's the pancreas. I believe it's the pancreas. Bianca. Forgive me if I'm mistaken. Hey, what's up? Yo, Jassy, what's good? All right, yo, that's it. That's all. We're here 4:30 sharp. If you have any questions, guys and girls, any comments, shoot me up in the DMs on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You know what's up. And I saw you, Brian. I fucking saw you. I love you, dog. Thank you for showing up. All right. That's it. That's all today. We out. See you guys tomorrow with another live stream. Peace and love. Later. All right, yo. Catch you around.